this is Tony from her Homestead Skills, and today I'm going to delve into the food shortage issue again. Yesterday when Mark and I got home from our Canada Day celebrations, we were invited by a lovely family to spend the day with them, so we did. Anyway, when we did get home, we turned on the news, and interestingly enough, we did see an interview from a farmer, and that was good to see. So it is beginning to get some traction in the news. So today what I wanted to do is continue along that vein and show everyone that the warning signs are everywhere. You know, that people have to start opening their eyes and taking a look for themselves, see for themselves, so that they believe for themselves what is going on. The warning signs are everywhere. And today what I'm going to do is read some posts from individuals who have actually seen these signs for themselves firsthand, rather than through the eyes of their neighbor. Okay, in no particular order, but these are posts left by you where you have noticed things for yourselves. Okay, so the first one says, I as well believe we are in for major shortages and hard times in the near future. I can already see what's happening in the local grocery stores where I live. The fuel prices, overall inflation, and sporadic shortages are like the handwriting on the wall. Another individual states, I have pointed out bare fields to my 11-year-old son today. I travel across 4 counties weekly, and seeing bare fields is haunting. There is some corn planted, but not much, and it's behind schedule because of such a rainy spring. I'd say less than half the fields are planted this year, and a lot still have brown stalks from the last season. Another individual says, as someone who works in the feed stores and pays attention to this stuff, I try to tell people what I know. I barely have been able to convince my family that it's going to get this bad. Another individual states, again, we started stocking our shelves at home in 2020. When after the 14-day quarantine, I visited the store and found not only toilet paper shelves empty, but there was no peanut butter, no beans, and no rice. The people of my hometown had been treating the grocery store like their food storage. Another, it's the same across Europe. Feed and fuel prices are rising very quickly, and they drive the cost and availability of food at every level. I hope people sit up and take notice of this. Again, another individual. I asked my landlord how much it was per round of hay bale, and he stated that last year it was $30 each, and now it's double that. Also, a quart of firewood has doubled from $150 to $300 since last year. Now, a round bale of hay was stated from a Northern Ontario lady to be $85. So it is definitely based on what area you're in, but it's still fairly consistent, I think, when you factor in Canadian versus US dollar. I live in a prairie farming community, and last year many cattle farmers had no hay and there was none to be found to feed livestock. My farm vegetable garden is on a hay farm, and the hay crop just didn't grow last year due to excessive heat. Only able to get about 1/3 of the usual crop. The cattle farmer neighbors were having the same problem with their hay fields, and several were desperate on what they were going to do with their cattle because they couldn't feed them over winter. So many cattle went to slaughter early and were turned into hamburger. This spring, so many fields were flooded where I live that it has been almost impossible to get on the fields to even plant this year's crop. Some were lucky and able to get out and plant, but most were not. There are grain shortages coming. So many people are ignoring the signs. Another individual. I found that the skyrocketing prices of fertilizer and the added pressure of not being able to use raw manure in some states aren't helping farmers to grow their crops either. In my country, cheese went up by 25% in 3 months. Again, another individual. I lived in a third world country for the first 10 years of my life, and I remember being hungry. Going to sleep hungry, sometimes not even knowing why my tummy ate. This is a reckoning for our country. People in the US have no clue, man. I feel really sorry that this is happening. My family brought us here to escape all the bad stuff that was happening. And now, in my old age, it comes back to haunt me. The city's burning, the riots, people in the streets, the insanity. I'm very sorry, folks, but we are headed for some real scary times here. We were warned, and no one paid attention. Hello from Australia. Here, lettuce hit $12 per head of iceberg. That's one lettuce. So if you think for 1 second that we're not in deep trouble, please think again. Also, remember to be human and to treat others how you would like to be treated. We can get through this, but only if we keep love alive. It's a good thought. Another. As a U.S. citizen living in another country, it's not just the USA. The entire world is going through this. Leaders from all around the world are saying we are going to have food shortages by fall. Farmers all around the world are saying food shortages. Another individual. I'm a small farmer and I cut my livestock in half due to rising food, fertilizer, and fuel costs. I'm thinking of cutting another 50% again this year. Another individual. I'm an over-the-road truck driver, and I can testify to the fact that there has been about 40% less fields being planted. Some wheat hasn't even been harvested yet, probably because of the price of fuel. All eyes need to be on California, New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas, as these are huge grocery store supply areas. Those crops are very slim this year, as the battle over water is the big issue. Another trucker. I'm a trucker. I think more people should be paying attention. Inflation is going to hit everyone hard. I drive all over and notice crops not being planted where they normally are shown to be in abundance. Another individual. There is definitely a hay shortage. The last 2 years I sold it right out of my field. Didn't have to store it in my shed. Another. I've been a truck driver for 15 years. When the diesel price doubles, your food price will double by fall, guaranteed. Again from Australia. I'm in Australia. Diesel is now $2.38 a liter. That will have a huge flow-on effect down the line. City folk are in for shock, and the worst is yet to come. We were a small free-range egg producer here in Australia. We had about 2,000 girls in chicken caravans on 150 acres. We stopped farming eggs about 4 years ago as the price of feed went crazy. The price of every input over the last 4 years on the farm has more than doubled here in Australia. Sometimes it's tripled, but the public expect to pay the same as they always did and moan about even a 50-cent price increase. Well, now they're moaning about not getting any eggs at all. My message is, start looking after your local farmers or you will have none. Pretty serious message. We own a trucking company and we drive coast to coast and have been warning friends and family that we aren't seeing farms, orchards, and livestock around to supply the people in this country with food for a while. We literally have been trucking for the last 2 years to only pay enough to operate. We have made no capital, at all since COVID. We rented our house out now and live in the truck full time, and this summer I will move in with my daughter to take a job to take care of our bills that aren't being covered by the current trucking market. While my husband continues to operate, I'm hoping and praying that things will get better, but the future is scary for everyone. Another individual states, if the lack of food being produced sounds worrisome, add to that this year more than 50 food processing plants have been destroyed by fire. Hundreds of millions of chickens have been culled or destroyed by fire, and tens of thousands of cattle have just died, which I believe they're saying was because of hot weather. We are about to enter times where the average people in America will actually feel what hunger is. So buckle up and do what you can now to prepare for the scariest ride you've ever been on. Those are his words, not mine. I guess I'd like to conclude this little video with a partial poem from John Donne, who once wrote, "No man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main." And he concludes with, "Any man's death diminishes me because I am involved in humankind, and therefore never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee." This is all. I hope you enjoyed this video. This video is actually not my video, it is yours. Have a great day.